Welcome back, everyone. And I'm here with Reynolds again in the weekly podcast. We were touching on the US government shutdown.
Yep.
We've got a few minutes here today.
Yep.
I'd like to explore that a bit further with you, if you don't mind. So, first of all, can you tell me what is the current status of the US government shutdown?
They just voted to come to an agreement.
And what was that agreement?
Well, the agreement is to fund US government departments through January, as Americans say.
Right.
To the end of January, I think it is.
Yes. All departments?
I believe it's most departments. I mean, I've just seen some headline news, literally only an hour old.
Yes.
And they voted 60-40 in the Senate to do that.
Right. Okay. What does that mean for financial markets?
In terms of what the market is fixated on the moment, it's more liquidity because the banking system has been paralysed to some extent by the shutdown of the government because all of the money that the government has to spend, which is normally more than its income,
Yes.
hasn't been spent.
Right.
So all the government suppliers haven't been paid.
Right.
And the staff haven't been paid. So
Yes.
the impact on the economy is, apart from those suppliers and those workers, is negative because the US consumer is seeing this and go, hey, we can't fly because 2,000 flights are being cancelled. None of these government departments are open. It makes people very cautious with money. And we saw on Friday the University of Michigan survey shows US consumer sentiment at its lowest for 3 years. Backs up the story, and the longer it goes on, the more uncertain both people and markets are.
So it has a bit of an impact on GDP then.
Absolutely.
What sort of rate percentage has, and this shutdown, it's been the longest they've had?
Yep.
So what do you think has been or will be, and what are the commentators saying about GDP impact?
Scott Bessent, who is the Treasury Secretary, reckons it might halve GDP, which is 3.5 to 4% at the moment.
Right, so a couple of percent.
Yeah, but that's a lot for a world global economy where there's only like 2 places growing.
Yes, yeah. But ultimately, we are making decisions around an economy whose GDP, if it's one of the ones you're relying on, that's got being dragged down by a government shutdown.
That's right.
And given no data for a while, how do you see the government's policies being playing out? Given they've been in essence playing in the dark.
By government, who do you mean?
The US government and not having the data.
So I don't think they care.
Yeah.
The biggest problem, which if you look anything that Trump or Bessent says, is the debt.
Mm-hmm.
And just because we're not counting the debt properly, it doesn't make any difference. It's even larger, right?
Yeah.
So the government is actually spending more than at any time ever, including the Biden administration.
Right.
So it's just getting worse and worse. So they need those rates significantly lower so they can roll over the debt short end cheaper.
And are you seeing any particular sectors which are suffering more because of the GDP impact and the lack of cash flow?
Well, tourism, specifically, people not taking flights being cancelled because there are no controllers.
Yeah.
Anything to do with hospitality, there's no loose money around.
Yeah.
You even look at, has it impacted the price of Bitcoin? I'd say it probably has a little bit because the general tightness of markets plus lack of confidence means no money for gambling.
Right. And Bitcoin is seen as a gambling currency.
Bring it on. Absolutely. Well, it's typically the canary in the mine that if you have a wallet like Revolut or something like that, and you've got some money in it and you want to speculate on the financial markets, Bitcoin's a popular thing because it's volatile.
Yep.
And if you look at any stock market move, it's actually predicted by Bitcoin with a 6 weeks delay.
Yes.
So the hot money goes into Bitcoin and comes out of Bitcoin first.
Yes.
And might go somewhere else.
Right.
So it is a place where naturally has flows from loose money.
And now, as of today, there's an agreement in place. What impact do you see on financial markets and economies going forward. So over the next week or so, or next month.
I expect markets to rally a bit. Does that change the trend? No. Does it take us back to where we were before? Probably. Part of it, the government being shut down, has exacerbated a condition where there were not enough reserves in the banking system. The Fed has kept rates restrictive.
Yeah.
Even though they've cut rates, it's still restrictive.
Yes.
And so they should be a lot lower anyway, because of credit cracking, CRE meltdown, lots of other things, low consumer confidence, etc.
Yeah.
So as the Fed finishes quantitative tightening, which it's meant to do in December, and starts reinvesting proceeds from its other bonds that it had bought, now being paid back, into the markets, it's going to add liquidity because it puts that money back into the banking system.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking money out of the banking system with QT.
Yeah.
So the relative change is big.
Yeah.
And the momentum change is big without those numbers necessarily having to be big by themselves.
Right. And we came to this point because of US Senate and the like not agreeing to budgets going forward. Do governments learn from this? Given we talk about GDP impact and liquidity impact, etc., and what do you see? Do you see this occurring again? Because it's not the first time.
Did you say do governments learn from their mistakes? Unlikely. I mean, their outcomes are purely selfish.
Yep.
And they have a distaste for markets because markets find them out. And they will have been found out. And it's only because markets are beginning to crack that they suddenly come back with an agreement.
Right. Yes.
Because no one wins if the consumer cracks.
Yes.
Exactly works.
Wonderful. That's pretty insightful things that you've raised there. So, is there anything else you wanted to add before we closed off?
No, just that. Firstly, they've had one vote.
Yeah.
So, what the actual procedure is to make it right, how long it takes to actually play out,
Yes.
and how long it takes for all that economic activity to end up in a report that's relevant.
Yes.
Could be a long time.
Yeah.
And are the markets going to believe it when it does come out?
Sure.
So it just adds to more uncertainty. And markets are naturally distrusting of governments to start with.
Right. So we'll see uncertainty for quite a while, is what you're saying.
I would think so.
Okay. Yeah, thanks again for unpacking the US government shutdown.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for listening in.